Okay, party people. Old school pool. Once again, it's going on this deep woods lake swim. Just drove on the trail here for a couple of miles, and then you come to this other little trail here. It's more for an ATV to get to the lake. It's a little bit precarious. I swam it yesterday. I was going to bring my camera, but I forgot it, so I'm going to just come here again today for a swim. As you can see, it's kind of growing in the bush and stuff, and well, there's a few bugs. There's quite a few bugs yesterday, not too bad, but the golden rule of bugs is if it's sunny, you get less bugs out, especially mosquitos. They are kind of like wet weather, and they come out when it's wet or after it's wet. It's kind of been dry the last few days. And I've got to make some noise here as well because there's been some bear activity around here. I mentioned in my last video the other lake across from this lake, which is an easy access. I was sitting there getting ready, and a bear popped out. So normally you've got to make as much noise as you can. Hey bear! Hey bear! Just letting them know, and they might, I've always wondered why people say hey bear. It's kind of like being nice, but I guess I'd rather be nice than, I don't know. F off bear! F off bear! But yeah, hey bear is what a lot of people say. And yeah, this was actually, I swam this in winter. It was the first time I swam this, and this was all soaked in here. It was flooded, and it's quite muddy now, but oh well. And yeah, I'll probably swim here today, and don't know, it's not my favourite place to swim. It's just it's getting overgrown. The lake's receding quite a bit in the warm. This was a big, huge lake in here. It was like 2 feet deep. So yeah, I walked back through here to clean me sliders. Mad tadpoles in here. Some big frogs as well. Yeah, once you start moving around in there, I can see a few. You can see them in there. Crazy tadpoles. Yeah, as soon as you start moving around in there, they'll rush off, and some frogs buried in there and stuff. But yeah, this lake's quite a nice looking lake. There's not much to see in here, to be honest. There's no real wildlife here, ducks or anything. Yeah, no geese. So it's just a nice lake to look at. I like to just change it up. It's getting to become a little busier at certain spots. Schools break soon, or I think it's July, well, the end of the month. What are we, June 4th? Yeah. But this could very well be a lot of bugs in here, but it's kind of died down some just because the sun's been out for a few days. And yeah, it's growing in quite a lot of the brush and stuff. But we shall see. It's just a different lake to swim. It's off the main road, and you've got to drive down the trail, and then you've got to kind of plot up here, and then the lilies are growing in a little bit more. So yeah, it's quite rocky on the side here, on the shore. You see, this is called West Stony Lake. Yeah, I swam on the other side and back. See how far that is. Well, past that island over there. I'm gonna kind of try and hit the sun. I always like to kind of face the sun when I'm swimming. Swim into the sun and then back from the sun. Yeah, it's a bit more warmer. I got my short suit on today. Thought I'd kind of change it up. A little bit more fresher. Maybe burn some more calories. This stuff here are all good in the wild. Old man's beard. You can use that for a lot of medicinal properties. You see that? Yeah. You can also start a fire with that real easy. It's real good stuff. Old man's beard. You can use tincture, put it in a tincture and use it in certain, well, drinkable recipes. It's not bad for you. Well, it's good, you know. I've used it before. Used a lot of, I used to kind of harvest a lot from nature. Old man's beard, shagger, polysporin. It's a mushroom that grows on birch as well. I call life's a birch because a birch tree harvests quite a few different species of things on the birch tree that no other tree can, and you can use birch sap as well. Also, you can make flour out of birch bark, and you can harvest or make baskets out of birch bark, moose coolers, all kind of stuff from a birch tree. Yeah, it's a lot of properties in a birch tree. Other pine needles and pine trees I've used with pine needles, pine needle tea, and all kinds of stuff like that. I've harvested a lot of different wild materials in the bush and stuff, you know. And one time I kind of was harvesting what I thought was shagger, but it ended up being what was called horseshoe fungi. And I was making a lot of that for tea and handing it out in the community. And then I found out it wasn't shagger, it was horseshoe fungi. And I was with the chief once, and I said, "Hey chief, you know that shagger I was handing out?" I said, "It's not really shagger, it's actually horseshoe fungi." And he turned around and he said to me, "Oh, gives you a bit of a kick, eh?" I kind of laughed at that, but it was still good for you. And his wife one time told me, you know, we used to chew the horseshoe fungi, and it was good for your throat, good for your teeth, and yeah. But I used to harvest different plants and stuff and turn them into teas. Yeah, I had a whole thing going on one point in time. I should get back into it really. Yeah, here's kind of boggy, leafy, marshy. Already got bit on the head now. Don't really like getting bit on the head. They turn into kind of real horrible. Yeah, a little bit dodgy getting in here. Little whelks, if they're black flies. I don't really like black flies. Mosquitoes, they ain't too bad. They're a bitch, but still. That will go down and it won't it will go away. Black fly, the itch will go down, and then if you itch it a couple of days later, it'll come back up again. I'm just going to get in here. Yeah, so it's a little precarious getting in here. Oh well, I live. This will only grow more in. There's quite a few rocks in here at the beginning as well. You don't have to be careful of smacking your knee and stuff. Yeah, I kind of find out there's a whole bunch of rocks here, and I just basically swam into them. Yeah. I'm using these scuba fins today. They're kind of giving you a different range of motion on my legs for a swim. I don't know. They're quite cruisy. They're pretty cheap ones I bought online, and they ain't the best. I wouldn't even give you the brand name, I don't know. You can pick up scuba fins anywhere, I think, online. My other fins are more for ocean. Good to have a pair of fins if you get out in big swells and stuff. And also, what I was explaining in one video, I was swimming a lot of, well, in the winter, I use booties, which got a rubber sole, and they won't fit in fins. And also the booties are thick booties for real cold temp water. And but I was doing a lot of breaststroke and stuff and frog kick, and it was kind of twerking my knees, man. So yeah, keep that in mind. Breaststroke's a great stroke, but it's the knee part of it is not a natural movement. So yeah, I kind of felt some pain in my knees. I've had a bit of pain in my knees over the years anyways. Meniscus disc problems. This is a tree I was actually looking at yesterday. kind of crazy. I looked at it from a different angle. It looked like something out of Lord of the Rings, like a monster or some crap. So, yeah. It had this kind of eye in the middle. You won't be able to see it at this angle, but uprooted tree from a storm, possibly. Like I said, I swam out pretty much that direction. It was a good swim on. Okay, the sun's this way, so I can't swim into the sun. Oh, I could get a bit of light. I'll keep along the shoreline, maybe a bit more activity. It's very shallow in here though, until we get out to quite a way. I don't mind getting bitten by mosquitoes. Black flies, I tend to have an allergy to it, so it kind of sticks around, itches, and you have to take, I've actually got a prescription for them, I've had for a long time. Well, the prescription are actually, how can I put it, it ran out years ago, but I just kept the medication just in case. You take one of them and it's not really drowsy for antihistamine. There's quite a bit of bug activity out here. They find you, that's for sure. And I just forgot to put my gloves on, which are my power stroke gloves, neoprene. Oh well, it's not that cold, it's fresh. Here's this tree up here, there's a lot of old man beard on that. It's quite cool. Heart rate slowly decreasing. That's okay. I'm not going crazy. Yeah, what a pretty looking tree. Dead tree branch with the old man's beard on there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's good for all kinds of things. You can put it into drink, you know, in the boil with pine needle. It's not going to hurt you. It's got a lot of properties to it. My legs are actually a little bit tired from yesterday's swim. I don't think it's good to swim, I'll be honest with you, it's not good to swim with fins all the time, because your legs get used to them. And then when you don't swim with them, you'll find it a little bit harder. Yeah, there's quite a few more bugs around today. The wind's down, and they're just buzzing around my head. They didn't seem to be biting as much. Well, they didn't seem to be biting yesterday, so I could feel one bite on my forehead. Now, you may think, okay, it's just a silly little bite, and that's what you get when you go swimming in a rural, well, it's a remote lake, but it's not. You can actually get to it from the highway through a gate if you've got one of the two cabins that are over there. And cut long story short, I know someone whose brother owns one, and I went fishing there once, and lo and behold, I caught the nicest looking trout I've ever caught out of this lake. And it was like a tench. It was really dark. It'd kind of been how could you put it, kind of had lived, and fish changed with the colour of the water. It was a deep lake trout, and basically through the winter months fish get darker, in the summer months they get lighter. And it was a dark fish. Well, it was spring, I think. Yeah, it might have been summer, I can't remember, but it was beautiful, and no word of a lie, good three-pound fish. Yeah, beautiful trout. It was just kind of lacing dark hue. I wouldn't say black, it reminded me of just like a tench, to be honest. But there's no tench on these lakes. Oh, I'm just really shallow. Oh my gosh. It's a bit more gravelly here than back there, which was, how could you put it, more silt and mud. I'll swim out to this other side here. Keep on having to duck my head a lot more. Keep away from these flies. Now I can swim into the sun. This lake's not a big lake, as you let's see if I can stand here just about. Yeah. This little cove here comes around to where them trees are on the other side there. I think that's, I don't know if that's an island or not, but that is an island right there. And that one there, obviously. And that's it, yeah. You can look it up online. West Stony Lake. Quite a nice spot. A lot of the trout, or the fish just jumped over there. Huh. Definitely trout in here. More trout than anything. It doesn't have a flowage in here or out. A lot of Nova Scotia's been taken over with smallmouth bass. This is an invasive species. They're fun to catch, but yeah, they eat up all the other springling fish and small trout, and then before you know it, they've taken over. I'm trying to swim twice a day now. Once in the morning and once in the evening. It's pretty much what I do in the summertime. The afternoon swim is a little less, it's just more of a dunk, a dip, and a, you know, 300 metres, 400 metres or so. Just kind of refresh my brain, my mind. Take the dog for a walk, jump in, stretch, a little bit of a swim. The water's still quite fresh, so once it's short season, then I'll probably do a little bit more in the evening. It's just easy to jump in shorts and no messing around with gear and stuff. And shorts which I prefer shorts, just shorts, obviously. It's better. The water's warmer and you'll probably want to swim further. I went last night and it was actually a little cool. So I was like, yeah. I'm used to cold water, but I've been swimming for cold water for now since, well, the fall of last year. And I'm pretty done with cold water swimming. Even if it's in shorts and it's fresh. Like warmer water. Yes, please. Yeah, there's not much wildlife to see in here. I haven't seen a bird or nothing. Maybe fly over, but there's no nests. There's no birds nesting in the trees or nothing. This is nothing. There's quite a few black flies and mosquitos, and that is it. And a chemtrail up there with a jet. It's probably come from the US. There's a bird up there. What that is, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, that's not really an island there, it's just where the lake makes out, comes back around. Nice day though. I think the air's about 14. Later on it's going to be about 20. That's perfect. No wind, 20 degrees. Beautiful. It does get hot around here in like July. It can get really humid too, with probably, you know, mid-high 30s even Celsius. And time to put the air conditioner on in your bedroom, I tell you, it gets stuffy. Most people think Canada's cold, you know what I mean, but no, it gets hot in places. Super hot. It's also got topography across Canada of out in British Columbia. It's almost like a desert out there, like Southwest America. And they got rattlesnakes and crap in a Soyuz, British Columbia. I went there once, beautiful. Reminded me of like, well, I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, the mountains that you see in Arizona or Utah, but pretty dry, pretty dirt-like landscape, you know. Arid. Arid temperatures. Went there for a lake swim once. Drove out there. It's quite nice. Beautiful, yeah. A lot of orchards out there as well, I believe. But it is known for being, they've got like, I think it was a museum, it was a snake museum, I think it was. And there's Drumheller in Alberta, which has a dinosaur museum. Here we go. What's this? That's a bald eagle. Maybe. I don't know. It looked like a white-headed bald eagle, but then again, now it's flown away. Oh, it's diving. Whatever. Come back up. It's hard to actually make out what I'm seeing on this camera. I believe that is a bald eagle, white-headed bald eagle. A small one. Yeah, just perched on the top of that tree. It looked like quite a small bald eagle, to be honest. So it's probably a young bald eagle. Pity I didn't have actually goggles that I could zoom in and zoom out wherever I kind of wanted to look with this action camera on my head. I'm still watching it. Swooped off that branch on the island there, off the tree, and kind of looks like he's coming back over this way. He can be a she, I don't know. There it is. Let's see what we get. Actually, that looks like some kind of hawk. Yeah, it's not an eagle. I can see from the underbelly of its wing that is a hawk species. It's the way it's diving too, yeah. Hope I'm getting this out on my camera. It's scouring around. He's coming back over this way. It's coming back over this way. He's definitely putting his wings in on a dive. It's definitely a falcon, some kind. I would say, what? No, not falcon. I said hawk. Probably a few falcons here in Nova Scotia. I don't think as many as hawks though. And up and down the valley here, there's a lot of eagles, and there's a lot of bald-headed eagles, and a lot of golden eagles. Could be a small osprey. If it's out on the lake, kind of fishing, maybe hunting for fish, maybe. Osprey, there's quite a few osprey where I live, especially in the bush, on lakes and stuff. Yeah, I'd probably go with osprey. There's a pond near where I live. It's a kind of it's freshwater. It's a walking trail around the pond. It's got a lot of birds and stuff there, with a few, osprey nests, osprey posts that have actually built for osprey. And I'll probably go down there, around there, and do like a walking view one day. See what we can see. There's a lot of ducks out right now, a lot of goslings, and a few turtles around on the actual trail in the sun. It's quite cool. Let's just take a rest here. Back to 4 feet. Yeah, I looked at my videos when I've been making them, and you can see my head's moving around a lot with my head. It's because I'm keeping a provincial vision all the time, you know. It's hard to keep your head straight when you're wild, open water swimming wild, and keep it just focused. You're always looking around, and I'm always changing my stroke. Not just because I'm looking for wildlife to look at, but I'm also just looking because I'm precarious of what could come out, or, you know, I don't know. It's just the way it is. With a camera, I'm not focused on just swimming A to B and from B back to A. You know, and especially in a lake I don't really know that well. Kind of looking around and figuring out where the features are underneath rocks and that. There's a lot of lakes I know off by heart now, where I can just move around them, or I know they're there, I'll keep away. There's a whack knee. Where the depths are, like here I know on this side here, well it's shallow here, a little bit over that way it's a little deeper. It's good to know this stuff, right? Yeah, I'm enjoying this swim today. Yeah, it's nice. I think I'll come back, yeah. Kind of been overlooking it for a while. I don't know, I swam here in the winter. Well, just past the winter, it still was cold. I think I had my full suit on, thick suit, and now I can relax a little bit more and look around. Yeah, it's not bad. People who own them cabins over there, they won't come until the weekend, or they won't come until the evening, so, you know, just swallow the fly. I don't know why. Yeah, it's deep here. This lake's shallow, really is, compared to other lakes. I reckon the most it is out about the middle there is probably 12 feet, that's it. 14, 15 max. Anyways, there we go. It's another little episode for you. I'm going to be changing it up a little bit more in the summer now. I'll probably make a few more vids. I don't want to churn loads out, but I mean, I want to try and kind of see as much wildlife as I can. Winter, autumn takes on a whole different meaning in the lakes here, and especially winter. You get quite a good look at winter swimming. You get like icicles grow and a whole new kind of set of wildlife come out. But yeah, what's that now? Well, anyways, thanks for watching. We can see some more interesting stuff. Keep with, we will. If you like, if you can subscribe, give us a like and a comment or a share would be great. Appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.